This is the legendary city of Alexandria, high on the northern coast of Egypt. It's a modern, bustling city, a favourite holiday spot for people from all over the country. It's also a magnet for poor Egyptians from the south who come looking for cheap land and the possibility of a more comfortable life. Its architecture ranges from the poorest slums to the magnificence of the recently completed Library of Alexandria, a building that recalls Egypt's glorious past and predicts a glorious future. Tradition dictates that this is where Christianity first came to Egypt. Today, the Anglican Church continues to spread the word of Christ in Alexandria. The parish of St. Mark's has come to life again under the leadership of Reverend Sami Shihata. This very traditional-looking church building now ministers to Egyptian, expatriate, Sudanese and youth congregations, and has no trouble letting its hair down and embracing theatre, both modern and ancient.
The church is changing itself every day. We're moving with what attracts people to the church. We're not changing the core of the message. And yet when we have ways of welcoming people into the church, I don't think we spare any effort to change. Anglican Church is a very flexible church. We're not rigid into the building and the tradition.
This might have been enough for most churches, but St. Mark's and Reverend Sami are enthusiastically embracing the vision of the diocese and its leader, Bishop Munir, to reach out to the poorest of the poor. On the outskirts of Alexandria, in the district known as Ras El Soda, the church has established a community centre. This is a majority Muslim area, but the population is incredibly accepting of the presence of the church. They understand that the community centre is there to serve them. In a district of new arrivals, with a politically powerless population, the act of genuine service wins hearts and respect.
Christians in Egypt, you need to remember this, lived alongside Muslims for 14 centuries. It's not 1 year or two, 14 centuries. But the majority are very peaceful people, and I don't feel scared at all.
Most of the houses in this district are owner-built, and town planning and government community services are virtually non-existent. Emil and Gigi now live in the district with their 2 children and are currently overseeing the building of a new centre. With the completion of the new building, they will have the capacity to do much more. Reverend Sami explains.
We bought the land because this area, a very poor area, many immigrants from Upper Egypt come to live in Alexandria, and they find a piece of land which is very cheap, and they come with older families and children. They live in a very low standard of living, and being there we try to raise their standard of living by giving them education through the nursery, helping them in the school system for the children to be part of, to help them to develop. So this means that maybe these children later will join university and become very successful in life. So this piece of land is going to be built as a clinic in the ground floor, a big hall for meetings in the second floor, and then social work ministry like nursery and giving aid to the people, classes to teach children. I think it's going to contain so many things.
The day we arrived to visit, the community centre was hosting nursery school. These kids are from the local community, and their parents are grateful that their children have somewhere safe to go, a place that is changing their future. In Egypt, you need a certificate from nursery school in order to start your education. Most of these kids would never have had the opportunity to move forward in life without the work of the community centre. Of course, good works are fine, but do the kids enjoy it? Well, Catherine seems to.
اللعب والواجب والأكل كل حاجة.
I enjoy it all. I enjoy all of the program, the entertaining part and the educational part, and getting a homework at the end of the day. So I enjoy every single item of my program.
She said all that?
Yes.
It must be good, if she even enjoys her homework. Rita also enjoys the centre, but it's the playtime with other kids that appeals most to her.
اللعب اللي بتبقى في الحضانة زي العربيات، واللعبة اللي زي بتبقى في الحضانة زي لعبة الدكتور.
I'd say she has the look of a medical practitioner, but what does she want to do when she grows up?
دكتورة.
Would like to be a doctor.
Well, that's clear enough in Egyptian or English, really. Maybe one day she'll be back working here at the planned clinic. The community centre is a new work, but expanding rapidly. As Reverend Sammy explains, there is no shortage of need.
There is so many areas in the whole of Egypt. You can start social ministry in hundreds of places in Alexandria. So there is a great need. Many people are living in a very low standard of living. So you can start every day in a place. So they do appreciate what we do. Even Muslims, they're waiting for us to start the clinic. We will not treat Christians, or we will not only accept children from the nursery as Christians, but we're going to open it for all. You cannot have social work for one group. This will create hatred, create problem, because as Christians we serve the community. You cannot only serve those who are part of your group.
It all sounds great, and I certainly found myself excited and inspired by the vision of the church. But the question always has to be, why? What's the motivation?
I call these community service centers as the practical interface centers, because it's not like an academic or theological interfaith dialogue, but it is a practical thing. Christian serving Muslim in a practical way, showing the love, communicating, listening to each other, helping each other, working together in other things. And I would think that if Jesus came today to Egypt, to Cairo, I don't think at all that he will go and sit in the bishop's chair in the cathedral. No way he will do this. We will find him in the midst of the poor people, in the slum areas, in the cafe shops, sitting, talking. And I think we will criticize him by doing this. But I always believe that if he came today, we will find him in a very different and difficult places. And we are trying to follow his steps and be in the midst of the community.
Yet again, the church is out in the streets, knocking on doors and offering friendship to those who are in need of love, hope and justice. ABM is proud to support the work of the church in Egypt and encourages Christians across Australia to give generously to the Good Friday gift so that we all might share in this story of good news.
هو حضنك ما نقولش على جنبك. أنا